Welcome to Deep Thought from the end of 2019. Yeah, we're coming to that new year, y'all. 2019, personally it was an interesting year. For some people, it was a great year. Some people, they're like, I can't wait till 2020 starts. Now, since this is the Deep Thought channel, now on my business channel, I talked about the business aspect and stuff, but on this channel, I want to talk more about the spiritual aspect. Because understand, regardless of your path, and of course, I don't promote a path, but one thing I will say, everybody should be advancing, regardless of what path. In fact, that's how you look at your path. Is your path allowing you to advance, or is it holding you back? When somebody look back at the past year, yeah, of course, look, if you're in business, look at the money thing. If you're just concerned about your relationships, look at that. But think about how far you've come spiritually. How much have you learned? How much have you grown? And the spiritual thing, that's your consciousness. How much has your consciousness grown? Or it might be the other way. You might look back at it and say, you know what, I went backwards. Like 2017, 2018, shoot, you were kicking ass, doing some viable things. Shoot, you had a good attitude about life, but then 2019, something kind of got worse. Or you could have started back in, 2013, and stuff just go downhill from you from then. Or shoot, back to the 90s or something. And it's like, man, every time you look up, something's happening. Okay. Look at all of that. And look at, try to break it down monthly. In fact, I got a podcast coming Thursday that's going to get more into that. But for the time being, just look at everything. Look at everything that helped you to grow more. Look at everything that you learned something from that was valuable. Learn something. Look at everything that caused you to take a certain attitude into your consciousness. Like, for example, like a big thing with me is always gratitude. Was there something that happened in 2019 that really taught you to appreciate gratitude, or just to develop it? Or something negative happened because you weren't grateful? You didn't show any gratitude for it. And even though I'm using gratitude, that could be anything. That could really be anything. Like, people really, in general, people need to be introspective. Because a bad tendency that people have is they keep making the same mistakes over and over and over and over and over again. Because they don't learn from it. They don't think about it. They keep saying, why does this keep happening to me? It was like, well, did you learn what you were supposed to learn from it? There's no shame in having a mistake or falling. There's no shame in it at all. It's part of life. Anybody who say they haven't failed at some point in their life is lying. Everybody does. Everybody's been rejected. Everybody has had bad moments. It's a question of, what did you learn? What did you learn spiritually? Did you learn, hey, maybe I need to show more gratitude, or maybe I need to be more giving in there. Maybe I need to have more compassion. When you go through 2019, look at all of that. Just sit back, chill. If you're a drinker, get something to drink. You're a smoker, I ain't a smoker, but if you're a smoker, sit back. Whatever you got to do with meditate, go into prayer, whatever can have you just sit back and look at everything. And do that joint month by month. And like I said, I'm going to get into why the month by month thing is important in my Thursday video, or podcast rather. And just sit back and be like, okay. Yeah, that went good, but then this happened. And then for everything that happened, every single thing, good and bad, sit back and think, okay, what sprang from it? That's a very important piece. Like, okay, say there was a situation where you showed compassion for someone. It could be like a young man who's in my inner circle pointed out that, he's very generous to people on the road. He's out. He see if they homeless. If he has something, he'll give it. That's cool. Now ask yourself, okay, whatever you did, and it could be being generous, it could be showing gratitude, being faithful to someone, loyal, whatever. And see what happened in those situations that allowed you to grow from it. Or if you grew at all, not even just what allowed you, just see, okay, what happened after I did? Okay, I did this, I did this act. I showed this kindness. This is something I took into my spirit. What happened afterwards? Because every single thing we do, good, bad, whatever, every action we take, the universe provides an equal and opposite reaction. No matter what we do. No matter what we do. For example, me just doing, somebody putting this podcast out. Somebody's going to hear it. Somebody is going to respond to it. Somebody is going to hear it. In fact, a lot of times, this is even regardless of what video I do, podcast, whatever, I routinely get someone who say, you know what, I needed to hear this just now. And see, that person, they'll take that and then they'll advance further. And then, all of a sudden, boom, they doing great. So look at every single thing. And then not just the good things. Look at every single bad thing. Okay. Okay, something bad happened, or you had a negative reaction, you did something. What happened afterwards? That's very important. Like if you just, like every single thing, always try to trace that back. Everything can be traced back. Now say you had a moment where you were mean to somebody in 2019. Try to think what happened afterwards. What happened afterwards? People... Like a lot of people, depending on their path, they'll see karma as a spiritual thing. Some people just use it like, I know, in back in the day, people would just say, hey, what goes around, come around. All right. So maybe you did something or had a bad reaction or something. What happened for it? Try to look at everything, especially something major. Like it can be impossible to do for every single thing that's small to do it because it's just time consuming. But just try to think about major events during the past year. How did you feel about it? How did you respond? Did you have a relationship that broke up? How did you respond? Were you like, oh well? Or were you devastated and it did something? Or you looked at it and said, you know what? I ain't need to be with that person. Or some people would go an extreme, write a song about it, become a millionaire. Yeah. Just look at all of those situations. So we're coming to the end of 2019. The best thing is just reflect. Sit back, reflect. I had a heck of a year myself. I was like, man. And so I'm thinking, okay, one of the things I did once I realized I had that, I was like, okay, what happened? Oh, that's what I did. Oh, okay. All right. And it all came down to changing attitude. Yes, it really did. It really all came down to just changing attitudes about certain things, small things, forgiving certain people, accepting other people, whatever. But it was an emotional thing. And, once you do it, it's like, boom. So sit back, do the same thing. We're going into a new year. Now, it's questionable if it's a new decade. I was informed that technically this decade don't end until 2021. And other people say, well, it's the beginning of one. You know what? It's a new year, okay? It's a new year, whatever the case. But there is something about it. It is a new year, but there's something else about it. Once again, that'll be on another podcast. Because this is one of the few times I like kind of share what I follow. So anyway, that's it. Keep rising and transforming. Peace.